When you're young, you have no idea how capable you are.
"40 years ago, I had an adventure that shaped my life. I'm amazed at how little I knew and how much I learnt through trial and error. I certainly learnt to embrace failure."
It's 1984. I'm just a teenager from Dorset, dropped into the undergraduate chaos of Leeds University. I have little idea how to be an adult yet. I grew up without a map for my emotions. I don't know who I am, and I'm looking for where I belong. I'm collecting experiences faster than I can process them. I'm changing in ways I don't understand yet. I'm drowning in possibility. I find a sense of calm in the outdoors. I feel grounded by the natural world. I've always been drawn to adventure. It gives my life a sense of purpose. I find my people in the caving club. I meet Colin Skinner, who's the most generous, relaxed and determined person I've ever known. Colin tells us of a charity walk he did pushing a giant lion in a wheelchair from John O'Groats to Land's End, raising money for the Royal Association for Disability and Rehabilitation. Now there's something worthwhile. We agreed to do a charity walk together and open an atlas to find a suitable location. Greenland is too big, but next door is Iceland, which looks perfect. Based on this tiny map and an abundance of optimism, we start the ball rolling on a massive adventure. I don't believe I'm capable of doing difficult things. I give up on struggling with my studies. I fail my first year exams and take a year out. And unexpectedly, I see a way forward. Now, I have time to focus on planning. By September 1985, there's a buzz around the project. Sean Fagan appears, bringing humour and momentum with him. His specialist subjects include mixing cocktails, the music of the Pogues and rugby songs. He's in charge of morale. Andy Backhouse follows, quiet, supremely fit, studying medicine, and already thinking clinically about how to keep us alive. Before the internet and email, everything moved by post. We write letter after letter, asking for information, advice, support, sponsorship, waiting weeks for replies that may never come. We have a logo, headed paper, a prospectus, and somehow Chris Bonington agrees to be our patron. We pore over maps, planning the route, the budget, the logistics, building something enormous from almost nothing. What can possibly go wrong? We need to get fitter and learn to work together, so December 1985 we spend a snowy week in North Wales. Conditions are suitably harsh to help prepare us for an Icelandic summer. We don't have all the gear yet, and yes, Andy only has one gaiter. Easter 1986, we take on the Pennine Way, a 268-mile route up the spine of England. The weather is truly atrocious. Trudging over the bogs of Kinder Scout, I'm glad I'm wearing steel toe-cap welly boots. The exercise is a masterclass in misery. After 2 weeks, we only made it 160 miles to Bowes, but it's time for us to go home. The fastest known time for the full route is 2 days and 10 hours, We haven't succeeded and this does knock our confidence a little, but it's too late to stop now. 30th of June, 1986, everything is packed and we head by rail to Aberdeen. Then it's a ferry to Lerwick and on to the Faroe Islands. Excitement is high as we see the brooding hills of Iceland and sail into the calm waters of Seyðisfjörður. Customs officers are waiting on the dock and we are a little nervous about the 4 weeks of dried food, petrol and supplies that might not pass inspection. Soon we're cleared and ready to begin. The route takes a month to traverse 400 miles across the interior of Iceland from east to west. Starting in the port of Seyðisfjörður, the route climbs over the Fjarðarheiði mountains to Eilsstaðir. At Kremstaðir, we cross the Jökulsá River and enter the remote interior of Iceland. We pass the Heiðarbreth and Askja volcanoes to skirt the northern edge of the Vatnajökull ice cap. Passing the Thorisvatn lake, we rejoin civilization at Selfoss and finish at Reykjavik. It's the 4th of July. We head out of Seyðisfjörður on the road over the Fjarðarheiði mountains. 1 mile in and we're full of enthusiasm. How things will change. We trudge past waterfalls and desolate landscapes. We're carrying 2 weeks of supplies in packs that weigh nearly 90 pounds. It rains and we're plagued with swarms of flies. Blisters form on my feet, then on my hips. My legs ache, my back aches. I realise I have bitten off more than I can chew. After 18 miles, we make it to Eilsstaðir and collapse in heat. Day 2, we have a day off to take stock. We can't carry on like this. So we send some supplies a week down the road by bus. Day 3, we set off with renewed enthusiasm as our packs now only weigh 70 pounds. The rain continues, the scenery is the same. And after another 17 miles, we have just one river to cross to our campsite. The days roll on. Mostly it rains, but the camera only comes out when the sun is shining. The flies get worse. They're constantly in your mouth and in your eyes. They get everywhere. Our food starts to taste awful. To save money, we've used lemonade bottles to store the petrol for our stoves, and it's leaked into our food. We blame each other for careless handling without realising that lemonade bottles are simply not petrol-proof. Colin experiments with a jumper and goggles to protect against flies, but we should have brought head nets. Tempers are frayed, and a bit of distance opens up within the team. Hungry, wet, tired, and blistered with our food stinky of petrol and plagued by flies, we blame each other for the smallest of things. I want this to be over. I'm looking for an escape route when I should be enjoying the magnificent scenery. Sean lifts our spirits by teaching us songs from the Pogues. We're walking Route 1, which is the main Icelandic ring road to make up time. It's a dusty, unmade track and surprisingly quiet for an arterial route. The occasional truck or car passes every hour or so. Day 6. The weather improves. We see the volcano, Heiðarbreth, in the distance. It becomes our constant landmark for the week it takes us to get there. Day 7, we make it to Kremstaðir, take a day off to hitch the 30 miles to Mývatn to send more supplies further on. We hitch in pairs, and I'm pleased to be paired with Colin, who is generally very lucky. We get a lift after 2 hours. Andy and Sean are even luckier and immediately get a fast lift which gets them there first. Having sorted our supplies, Colin and I hitch back. Andy and Sean are not so lucky and get stranded overnight. They sleep on a piece of corrugated tin in a geothermal field. In the night, the ground starts bubbling with heat and they have to move on. Tired, they arrive back at Kremstaðir the next day by bus. Day 10 and we're off again. We cross the bridge over Jökulsá River that flows north from the Vatnajökull ice cap to the sea, splitting the north of Iceland in two. We are entering the interior where civilization ends and the scenery takes a turn for the dramatic. With new supplies, our packs are heavy again, but we're becoming conditioned to the physical demands. We're averaging 18 miles a day. We camp by rivers where we can find patches of grass to pitch the tent. The scenery is beautiful, and I'm starting to enjoy the trip. The miles seem shorter. At Glioraithsmitha waterfalls, we realise just how big the rivers are. We have 60 feet of rope to help with the river crossings, but I'm seriously starting to doubt our ability to traverse around the edge of the enormous Vatnajökull ice cap. Now that I want to continue the walk, it seems more impossible than ever. Failure is a distinct possibility. Ere the breath beckons us on. The interior is mostly a desolation of black sand, pumice stone and volcanic lava fields. There's a distinct lack of green. Day 13, we arrive at the Dreki hut at the Askja volcano. The caldera is a little off our route, but we meet a passing tour in an incredibly capable four-wheel drive coach. Thomas, the guide, offers us a lift to the crater rim, and we gladly take a 30-minute bumpy ride across the lava fields to tag along with the Austrian tour group. We even get to swim in Viti, which is a geothermal lake surrounded by steaming and sulphurous fumaroles. The mineral-rich, balmy water is 27 degrees Celsius and gives our sore muscles a much-needed soak. The smell is incredible and the setting dramatic. Afterwards, we take a stroll up Drekagil Gorge and then head down to camp at Dingivarten Lake. Light pumice stone had fallen from an eruption and landed on the lake where it floated to the edge to make a strand line. The water had receded to leave a strip of black volcanic sand for us to camp on. We're now entering the most remote and inhospitable parts of Iceland. We don't know Iceland well enough to be worried yet, but we should be. Next day, as we head up to the Vatnajökull ice cap, we're engulfed in a sandstorm. We put on our goggles and walk in a line a few feet apart to keep together. At the back, I can't see the person in front. Worse still, there's some local magnetic anomaly and the compass keeps spinning randomly. We're completely lost. After 2 hours, the storm clears and we're able to work out where we are. We camp on sand next to a glacial outflow from the Vatnajökull ice cap. The river is quickly eroding its banks and we realise our camp will be flooded. Just as we start to take the tents down, the river suddenly stops. Worse still, we've run out of water. We just have some muddy glacial meltwater that we might try and filter. We managed to produce a litre of clean water between 4 of us. It's a thirsty night. Next morning, Colin and I slake our thirst by licking dew off the billy can lids that had been left on the sand. We set off for the Vatnajökull glacier, and a few hours later, we are rewarded with a beautiful pool of crystal water. Water has never tasted so good. Passing the Orthahals crater, we start the arduous traverse along the north of Vatnajökull ice cap. Day 17, the weather is deteriorated. We spend the next 3 days battling rain, snow and bitter cold as we skirt the ice cap through a volcanic landscape with many river crossings. This is the adventure that we'd come for, and the conditions make us work together as a team to overcome the challenges. Our legs are stronger now, but the water makes our blisters even worse. It feels remote and dangerous. Without phones or GPS, we rely on each other to stay safe. The bonds of friendship are knitted tightly together. Any rescue at this point would be many days away. The days get harder and harder. Day 19, we arrive at the Nihitalu hut near the Vatnajökull glacier. We've cracked the hardest part of the trip and we're heading back to civilization. At the Nihitalu hut, we meet with Ted Gray from the Shirebrook School Iceland expedition. He's brought a resupply pack we had given him back in the UK, which includes some luxury tinned food. We feast like kings with a whole chicken in a tin. We boil the tin to cook the chicken, then reuse the water to make custard for our pudding. Unfortunately, the glue from the label ends up in the custard, which does not improve the flavour. Packs heavy from the resupply, we trudge south on blistered feet in rain and wind to camp at Roithholar. Both morale and gear are failing, and when Sean's rucksack shoulder strap breaks, we need a boost. So it's a relief to find an empty stable at Selðafell where we can sleep out of the weather for the night. The horse troughs are exactly the right width to take our sleeping mats, and we start the next day refreshed. Crossing the Thiosau River by bridge, we pick up a strong tailwind, which makes walking a little easier as we passed Iceland's largest lake, Thorisvatn. This is where our outdated maps from 1974 throw us a curveball. In 1981, the Hroineyjafos hydroelectric construction made an extra lake that isn't on our maps, and we get hopelessly lost. Eventually we make it to the turning to Hella and get back on track. Day 24, we make it to Borfettel, having walked 12 days without a break and averaging 18 miles a day. We take a rest and visit Thiosardalo, a reconstructed medieval farm built in 1974 to celebrate the 1100th anniversary of the settlement of Iceland. Then it's washing and an incredible burger with the classic Icelandic condiment rimulati. After all the petrol-soaked food, it's so tasty I don't brush my teeth so I can savour the flavour all night. The journey back to civilization begins. The roads have tarmac now, the weather's good and we're making good time. We meet up with the French cyclist Benoit, and within a couple of days, we're in the metropolis of Selfoss. We stay up to 1 o'clock in the morning playing cards with Benoit, and for the first time in a month, we see the darkness of night. From Selfoss, we stop at Kiragaithi and then at Gaithels. The walking is along a highway, and there's a fair bit of traffic. Hot dogs are plentiful, and it seems incredible that only 10 days ago we were battling sandstorms and raging rivers. Now we know that we'll complete the journey, and these last couple of days become more relaxed. Then, finally, on the 2nd of August, after a month of adventure, we've made it. We've made it to Reykjavik. What a relief. We celebrate at the Reykjavik sign and then head down to the city campsite. We are delighted that we can stop carrying the heavy packs. The next day we go down to the water to complete the walk from coast to coast. We have finished the walk, but feel a little adrift. What do we do now?
Well, now we go home.
It takes 10 days to get back to Leeds. We travel by bus along the South Coast Road, past waterfalls and lakes. Slowly, we unwind and get used to the rest and faster pace of travel. We stop at Skartafettel Nature Reserve and watch the glacier crashing down the mountainside and floating out to sea. I feel I'm observing the landscape rather than participating in it. It's a very different experience to be a tourist rather than an adventurer. Is this how life is now? We camp at Hub and again at Eilstaðir before hitching back to Seyðisfjörður, where it all began. On the boat, we say goodbye to Iceland and start thinking about what we have achieved, and more importantly, what is happening next. The boat takes us to the Faroe Islands, where it leaves us for 3 days whilst it shuttles off to Norway and back. We've run out of money, so we visit the sites and walk around the harbour. Andy Backhouse bumps into Andy Middleton, who he knows from Leeds, and we spend a pleasant few days getting to know someone new. The dynamic within our team is slowly starting to evolve into the normal pattern of complex, busy lives. I find a broken fishing pole washed up on a beach, so we catch fish and roast them over a fire. The boat returns, and then we head back to Lerwick and then to Aberdeen. We relax, we laugh and reminisce. Lucky to have these 10 days from finishing our adventure to getting home. Finally, on the 14th of August, we return to Leeds. 46 days after we left on our adventure. The world seems a very different place. We raised £2,000 for the Royal Association for Disability and Rehabilitation. The charity has since changed its name to Disability Rights UK, and I still support it to this day. Sean Fagan became a senior executive in the oil industry and travelled the globe. He finally settled in Australia. Andy Backhouse became a GP providing medical care at Riccarton Clinic in Christchurch, New Zealand. Colin Skinner continued walking to support charities including hospice care, conservation biology, people with disabilities, cancer relief and AIDS. He's walked over 14,500 miles, written 2 books and completed a PhD in molecular biology. I went back to university, realising that I was capable of academic work after all. I got my bachelor's degree and 2 master's degrees. I ended up working in clinical research and was involved with over 800 clinical trials, from acne creams to the COVID vaccine. We remain friends, and although we hardly ever see each other, when we do, it's just like 1986, right down to the taste of petrol.
Looking back, I wish I'd understood earlier that things don't have to be perfect to be good. You can make a start, fail, and try again. At least you'll be moving forwards. You don't have to please everyone. In 40 years' time, it'll be the people you met and how they made you feel that will remain important. The rest, well, that's just passing weather. You're perfectly capable, just as you are.